Hello and welcome to the We're Not Prepared podcast.
Yeah, where we're always not prepared. They call me Unprepared Paystee.
And they call me Fashionably Late Fat Mac.
And they call these Moonshine Cherries.
And they call these nuts.
Well, what a fucking week in wrestling it has been. Holy shit. Can we
just take a second to acknowledge that was a pretty good open for us not being prepared and literally just...
No, that was very solid. It sounds like something you'd expect to listen to when you click on a podcast. We might actually retain listeners to this very second, and they just hit stop.
Motherfuckers thought we wrote it. We didn't write it. We were just like, wow, we're talking. Shit, it's recording.
Oh, it's good to be back in the saddle, and, fuck.
I'm riding side saddle.
There you go. Keep it gangsta. Straight up G.
Is that gangsta? Side saddle?
I think so. Anything sideways would be gangsta. The sideways hat.
I guess
sideways
so.
gun.
I think of it as like
sideways
bitch,
saddle.
But yeah, now that you say it, everything they do is sideways, so that makes sense. If you ride it backwards, you straight up crisscross, baby.
Sideways stare. That's gangsta as fuck.
Gotta give them the crazy eyes.
Crazy eyes.
Give them the crazy eyes.
Woo.
Woo.
I thought my eyes were going crazy at Double or Nothing this weekend.
It was crazy.
What a show. That's what a pay-per-view should feel like, folks. So if you witnessed that and you thought something was a little off, no, everything was fine. That's just where your standards probably should be.
And without any spoilers to folks who maybe didn't watch it, it was just amazing, Paystee, how I was winning everything from the very beginning. I was like, I'm going to sweep this! And then you came from behind and won
Underdog.
everything. I was like, no way! How the fuck does that happen? I was so awesome because I was flying high. I was like, there's no way he's winning. At first I thought like, oh, it'd be cool if I sweep it. And then I was like, well, maybe I won't sweep it, but he can't come back from this. And you took it. So spoiler there. Paystee won this pick, but
yeah. So hey, if you listened real closely last week to the show, you kind of don't even have to finish out this one. So bonus points to you, loyal fans.
Right.
No, you want to stick around. I think we got a lot of good stuff to say.
Well, that's why we're just knocking out Double or Nothing right away, and then we're moving on to the other stuff, which is all good. A lot in the next few weeks. I think we mentioned this last week, but in the next few weeks, there are a lot of big shows coming up in wrestling. So
it's going to be prediction and results heavy, folks.
Yeah, expect less news. We're only going to be putting out like the major news, and it's going to be a lot more predictions, results, and banter about the shows. Because you know what? You can have, unless there's like gargantuan news, you can have a whole episode just bantering about upcoming and just past pay-per-views.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? Nobody said we can't. We make our own rules here.
I think we've been there a couple of times before, too.
Oh, yeah.
This may be the most inundated we've ever been with pay-per-views that we feel we need to watch and partake in.
Ooh, I like that.
But that's such a good thing.
I like you throwing Inundated in there, man.
I wanted to use Inundated as part of the title for this week's episode, actually. So
it's just our albatross to bear, buddy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I got so many people at work using that phrase now. My boss was literally singing it. I said it. I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh no, we have to we're an ESD company, so we have to wear smocks, and there's buttons on them. And my beard hair will get caught. Just one beard hair gets caught in the one button, and it pulls. And he was sitting there, and he's like, "God, I hate that." And I was like, "What?" "My fucking beard gets caught in this one button." I was like, "That happens to me too." He's like, "Isn't it a bitch?" I was like, "It's just our albatross to bear for having good facial hair." And I was like, "Damn, I rhymed it." And then, like, for the whole day, he's like, "I like that." And he's like, "It's my albatross to bear. I got my facial hair, my albatross to bear." It's like, this motherfucker. It was good shit.
That is good shit.
To be fair, though, nobody I've said it to has ever heard it in their life. So we must not have been the only people that haven't heard that before, Paystee. Our albatross to bear, Paystee, is that we got sponsors.
Oh, yes, we do have sponsors, and they're the albatross that bears us.
Unlike all these other wrestling podcasts, we knock them all out at the beginning, and then you don't have to hit that skip button 12 times throughout the rest of the show, folks.
We're looking at you, Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Because that was really fucking irritating this week.
Oh, my God.
Every
No, I
time he
was just
talked,
feeling- I
every
was just
fucking
feeling
time he
so-
talked, he's like, oh, we're gonna cut.
No, but the worst one is Dean Ambrose was like, it just got to a point when I was working there that I was just so depressed. And then Jericho's like, you know what makes me depressed? When I go to the grocery store and I can't find a good steak. Like, holy shit, you just undersold this man's plight he was dealing with a fucking Omaha steak commercial, you fucker. That one just made me roll laugh. You know what makes me depressed? When I can't find a good steak at the grocery. Shut the fuck up, Jericho. That's nowhere near the same as being tortured in your job.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he could have just said, I've been there too, John. I've been there too.
Right. There's better segues to Omaha steaks.
Like this segue to QualiTee's t-shirt, Cove, Wilmer, Minnesota. Brought to you by my good friend, that dude Saint. He's got your back and your front covered with these beautiful t-shirts with your custom designs all over them. That's right, custom tees, sublimation, heat transfer, vinyl and decals, special gifts, sports team shirts, weddings, concert merch, and t-shirts for any occasion, like the ones you may see in and around the Galactic Get Down. Yes, QualiTee's t-shirt company. They're good to us. We're good to them. I cannot recommend this company to you enough, and that's why I keep bringing them back every single week. And you might have your albatross to bear, but bitch, I got my monster wear. Small runner bulk orders on decals, stickers, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, glassware, jerseys, and many other types and styles of fabrics, along with custom graphics and logo design services offered. Plus, hey, your kids just started summer. You know what that means, right? In just a few months, it's going to be Halloween time again. Get your custom painted, handcrafted hockey masks styled in many terrible, horrible stylings. And he'll do them to order. You got an idea you want to see? He'll make it happen. And this man is an artiste. I can't stress that to you guys enough.
You can't?
I can't.
And I can't stress how soon the 2019 Galactic Get Down is coming.
Man, it's
Holy
stupid
crap.
close.
Oh,
Stupid
just
close.
over a month. It's 48 days.
I'm glad that's not ours, because I would not be prepared.
Either one, I'm not prepared. I ain't even gonna lie, but wow, folks, don't forget, this is a 3-day outer space themed music camping festival that you can attend if you just make the short trip to Houston. But that's Houston, Minnesota, folks. So if you're in the Minnesota area, it's not as far as a drive. But if you're in the Tejas area, it's quite a ways away.
Oh, yeah.
But we will be there. So many great musical guests will be there at the Outback Ranch. We got folks like The Lowest Pair, the Bob Pat Band. We got Triple T, Tony Tree Thompson, Luminos. We got Zach Deputy, that one guy. Of course, there's Smokin' Joe. We love you, Smokin' Joe. Shout out. Make sure to hit up the Smokin' Joe show, folks. Check them out. They do live streaming. Just amazing.
Hell,
Great
if you're
show.
in the metro area, check them out now on MTN.
They also have the Gin Strings, Space Monster, Space Monkey Mafia.
Spank Monkey Mafia. That's my new
Spank
band.
Monkey.
We only play in showers with steak.
Oh, of course. Hot Pink Hangover. And not only that, but of course, your host, Dead Larry. I'm butchering this, but folks,
Of course, your host, Dead
you
Larry.
will not get butchered at the Galactic Get Down, but you may get blazed. Don't forget, it is family friendly. You can bring the kids. Enjoy all your time there with so much to do. Again, you get to see us there. We're going to be there. We're going to have a tent. We could put you on this show that you're listening to right now. It's happened in the past. It'll happen
And a little
in the
bit of
future.
developing news that I know is going to make Matt Cousin very happy, seeing as he won't have to drive 3 hours just to do so. It turns out there's going to be some disc golf at the Galactic Get Down this year. It's going to be a little putt course, or like horseshoes, like a tournament, 2 nets, whatever. It's still, bring your discs, huck your discs. Let's
You know what I say?
fucking have
2
some
nuts
fun.
is good enough.
It's better than 1.
2 nuts are better than 1. And this week we are starting something that we have talked about and wanted to start And maybe we started a little bit and gave up. I honestly don't remember, Paystee.
Yeah, it happened like 1 week, and we're like, yeah, this is going to be every week, and then things went back to normal.
But we're going to get dedicated to this, because it doesn't take much time. It doesn't take much time at all. What we're going to do is every week we are going to give you a This Week in Pro Wrestling History, and we'll give you one or maybe a couple big events that happened this week. You know, if there's 2 or 3 large things, then we'll talk about them.
Yeah.
You know, if there was nothing this week, we're going to give you some piddly shit, because we're going to find something.
Yeah, no, there might be a vast ocean of content before us, but there's still an even more unsurmountable amount hidden in the past.
Too right. One from the not too distant past, but I thought was a great way to restart this segment, is somebody that everyone, both fan and people in the industry, adore and love. This one's about Owen Hart, Paystee, and I hate to say it, it's not a happy Owen Hart story. But Paystee, May 23rd of 1999, Owen Hart passed away at 34 years old after falling from the ceiling of the Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri during a stunt got wrong at the WWF Over the Edge pay-per-view.
I heard Vince tried to blame it on Y2K. The Mayans got the calendars
He said
wrong.
It was Jericho, Y2J.
He'd probably say that now.
Now that he's banned. So, I think just for shits and giggles, we'll dedicate this show to Owen Hart. Enjoyed all of his work. Definitely a super talented individual.
Taken from the world at far too young.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
His career was really just unfolding in front of him.
And for so many wrestler deaths that are pointless, this is like towards the top of the list of pointless deaths. Probably right under Benoit.
Yeah.
But this was just nothing that even needed to happen.
Do you think
it was a goofy stunt where they were trying to make fun of WCW and they half-assed it and he died, and we don't have to get into the whole conspiracy theory, which I know, Pace, you'd do a whole episode.
Oh, I would. I'm about to ask you, do you think he brought this issue to Vince like Dean did to Vince? Like, this is a stupid thing and I don't see anybody ever doing this, so why am I doing this?
According to Martha Hart, he was very against it.
Yeah?
So, according to Martha Hart.
But it's good shit.
It's good shit. That's what, that's Dean, that's not Dean, but that's Vince's answer to everything. It's good shit.
It's good shit. It's still shit, Vince. I wonder how many times he hears that. I bet a lot.
How many times does he hear it? I bet not much at all. How many times do people say it after they leave his office? Quite a bit.
To him. I bet they say it to him quite a bit too. He just doesn't hear it.
Well, maybe. I don't think they say it to him.
It seems like when you talk to Vince, he hears his womp 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 womp.
Chocolate titties. But one thing we don't want to want over, but something that didn't have, it had some chocolate titties. Not exposed chocolate titties, but there's quite a few chocolate titties on the show. Double or Nothing, Paystee.
Yes, indeed.
This is the first ever All Elite Wrestling show. Like, the very first,
yes.
Their first match was the very first ever All Elite Wrestling match.
And it was damn good. I was very impressed by the Casino Battle Royale. It was a very strong showcase. I felt like you got to see each individual as what they're going to be once they launch their weekly TV show.
I heard it was a good showcase.
It was a great showcase. And, Tommy Dreamer was there. I picked a mystery pick. I got that one.
Which, I want to say, so how did you like full disclosure here, folks, I didn't watch the pre-show. I do want to go back and watch it, but I haven't yet.
Yeah, this is definitely, it's a pre-show worth watching for you and for any listeners who maybe held off on it.
What did you think of the format of the 5-5-5? I'm guessing, did one person come out then at the very end? Was that Hangman Page? Was he the one?
Yeah, he was the one.
It was 4 sets of 5 and then a 1?
Yeah.
Okay, how would you like that format?
It was pretty good. I mean, people, like, the music hit and they kind of trailed out. Sometimes they ran out. I think once they ran out as a group of 5 and got in the ring right away, but they, like, kind of trailed out and, like, Ty Dillinger got to do his own, like, little kind of thing in the entrance of 5, but they still came out relatively at the same time. It worked out pretty well for the format in the ring, too, because it kept the action moving along. You never had it just down to 3 guys with 1 guy standing there. And it felt good, and it was still, you were still able to showcase everybody uniquely and individually, and it felt very solid.
I like that. I like to hear that, because battle royals, they can be really fun, but man, they're hard to keep interesting to the end, from beginning to end.
Yeah, and this way it also felt more fast-paced, Every 3 minutes you're getting 5 people. That's way better.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, I agree. How about the Kip Sabian-Sammy Guevara match?
Honestly, I'd never had seen these guys before. And Sammy Guevara came out in a big-ass panda head, and I'm like, you fool. I'm like, this is independent wrestling. I get it. Okay, whatever. But the panda head came off. They had their match. It was pretty fast paced, and it was a very solid match for what these two had the time to showcase. They did come in with the shortest time on the card at a perfect 10 minutes. That's insane. But no, it was very solid, and I'm looking forward to seeing especially more Sammy G. Yeah.
I heard from people who do know these guys that they seem to hold back a lot, but again, as you and I talked about before the show, I think you would expect that on the pre-show. I don't think... Actually, I think, and we even said this too, I think everybody, except for maybe one match, actually held back because you don't want to give the fans everything and the best your first fucking
and
show.
To a lot of people, most people on this card are brand fucking new. You've never laid eyes on them.
To a good amount of people, yeah. I think it's a more smarter audience than your WWE crowd.
I think so. But you have a bunch of those eyes looking in this direction too.
Yep. I would agree that there's still probably a lot.
And so for that, I think starting it off slower on everybody's level it's a good thing, because it gives you room to grow. It makes sense.
Right. So then, Paystee, bring us into the main card.
Yeah, we started off with the 6-man tag. That's SoCal Uncensored versus the Strong Hearts. And this was a pretty good showcase. I found myself actually really liking El Lindaman, and he's got a new fan in Paystee.
That is what I have in my notes, Paystee. I have Lindaman really impressed me. That's the very first note that I have for my Double or Nothing notes. The very first thing is Lindaman really impressed me.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing more of this motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a solid match. I mean, it's the first match, and it probably wasn't as good as the Battle Royal, which I was still like, holy shit over.
But it's a good opener. They stayed. There was no downtime in the whole match. When you got 6 guys in there, it's easy to do that. To keep
very solid flow.
Going.
I also think I liked Scorpio Sky a lot more in this match than I've liked him in matches I've seen him in previous.
My second note on Double or Nothings is Scorpio Sky was match MVP.
He should be. When you're in a group with Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, if they're doing their job right, you should be the best one.
Yep, and he was. I think out of everybody, out of all 6, Scorpio Sky did the best. But Lindaman, who I'm not familiar with, really impressed me.
Yes. Yeah, I wasn't familiar
those 2 guys walked away
with any of the Strong Hearts, and I was very impressed by all of them. I was also very surprised to see SoCal Uncensored walk away with the victory, because I thought for sure they were going to hand this one to the Strong Hearts as a show of good faith. Like, you're working with us, that's awesome, get over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think OEW got over it.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously Fat Matt called it, because I got a point. And I'm just going to gloat as much as I can until I get kicked in the nards 4 straight.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
So, I'll take this one. Next, we had the first women's showcase. And as much as they have promoted that they want to make it fairly equal, I think they did a great job. Now, it started out, Paystee, as a 3-way.
Yep.
It was Nyla Rose versus Kylie Ray versus Dr. Britt Baker. But beforehand, the chief brandy officer, Brandy Rhodes, came out, and she said she believed, she didn't lie, she honestly thought it was going to be a great 3-way match, and she honestly thought that one of those 3 women would make a great winner of the match, but she changed her mind, and then she took off her outer apparel, and she had her ring gear on. And she's like, I have added someone to make this match awesome. And you know what? For as much as I thought, oh shit, she's inserting herself, she has her ring gear. As soon as she said awesome, I was like, oh shit, Awesome Kong, Awesome Kong, Awesome Kong. And out came Awesome Kong. And it marked out the hardest out of this whole fucking pay-per-view for Awesome Kong.
I marked up pretty fucking hard myself. I'm not overly familiar with her, but I am familiar with her work and then Glow as well.
Yeah, you got to give it up to them that they have a legitimate TV star on their roster. Yeah. She is a legitimate TV star of a highly rated TV show, Glow.
And it was super exciting to see Awesome Kong added in this too.
But I loved her from TNA. I loved her from Shimmer. I've loved her over in Japan, in Stardom.
I loved her running WWE.
I didn't at all. Not one bit. But hey, she made it as, the third ever woman in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
First was China, second was Beth Phoenix, third was Awesome Kong.
And then she got pregnant and left.
And then fourth, didn't they, who was just in there this last time now?
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax. So.
Who was then used to attempt to bury Dean Ambrose on his way out.
Exactly.
But no, adding Awesome Kong in the mix definitely balanced things out with Nyla Rose, which I was always skeptical of beforehand. Like, obviously Britt Baker and Kylie Rae could team up and take out Nyla, but this leveled the playing field even more, and it made me happy. It made me you got to see the showcase of Britt Baker and Kylie Rae, whereas you wouldn't have seen exactly that, I think, otherwise.
And let me go back to the very beginning. The first person to come out was Smiley Kylie Rae. And she was so excited, and she started crying on the ramp, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this girl. I'm rooting for her. She's like AEW's Bayley. I know.
People hate her because she's just like Bayley.
Too bad. I love her. And that's just, it's always going to get me. It's always going to get me.
Oh, I do want to jump back to Casino Battle Royal. There was 22 entrants. The actual last entrant is my new favorite independent wrestler, and I really hope he gets signed. Orange Cassidy. Are you familiar?
No.
Oh my God, look him up.
Is that Black Tom Cassidy's brother?
No, but his gimmick is he's a wrestler who just doesn't want to wrestle, and so he half-asses everything and kind of dodges around people's moves all coy-like and wears his sunglasses for as long as possible. Doesn't let him fall off his head.
He doesn't want to wrestle and he wears sunglasses.
You have to watch his matches. Look him up.
I'm kidding.
Orange Cassidy.
I'm going to.
He was in the Battle Royal for all of 2 minutes and got eliminated, but I've watched 7 of his videos on YouTube since, and I love him. He's so funny, and it's great.
I'll have to check that out. I also have here in my notes, I got here, I just became the biggest Nyla Rose fan, and I think I have a crush. So I am now in love with Nyla Rose.
There you go.
So not only is she an amazing wrestler, I love me my thick girls, man. She's sexy. I don't like to objectify women wrestlers, but sometimes a woman's just sexy, and she's fucking sexy. She owns it. Dr. Britt Baker did end up taking it away. I think between you and I, out of the 3 that we had to choose from, it was gonna be Dr. Britt Baker or Nyla Rose, obviously.
Yeah. So and Britt Baker's obviously looking at her. She's the smartest one to lead up your women's division.
They're definitely pushing her. I think they're pushing her. I would love to see them push Chelsea Green. Would be great.
Mm. I'm really looking forward to, because WWE would never pull the trigger on it, but I'm looking forward to when Kylie eventually snaps.
Yeah, because I think she could do a really good, overly happy psycho.
Oh yeah, sometimes when she lets her excited, happy expression down, she's got this evil, bitchy face, and I can see it.
Right.
And I think that's why they push the overtly babyface thing. That way it's much more of a holy shit when she does change.
So Mack is up 2-0 on Paystee. What do we have next?
I'm floundering. Up next, we had a tag match with the Best Friends taking on Los Guerreros del Cielo. I'm pronouncing that very wrong. But that's Angelico.
Hey, you got Angelico, right?
Yes. And Jack Evans.
You were close there.
It's not Jacques.
I know that's a hard name to pronounce. I get it. It's hard. It's all those vowels, all 3 of them, just throw you off.
No, honestly, everybody did really good in this match. I really like Angelico and Jacques Evans, but Chuck Taylor and Trent Britt also had a really good showcase.
Yeah, I agree. I have in my notes that it was better than I expected, and that they didn't wrestle like the spot their match was in which, I mean, they were in a bathroom break spot.
Right.
But that is not how they wrestled. We also got the first "This is awesome" chant.
Yes.
In this one. And I think, obviously, well, I don't know about obviously. Anyways, the Best Friends ended up winning. They beat Angelico and Jack Evans. But the big news came after the match, Paystee.
Yeah. When the lights went out and the lights came back on and people were in the ring that I wasn't.
Super Smash Brothers!
And I was like, who are these guys? But I was actually happy I didn't know who they were because it made it even better in my mind. Like, who are these guys?
There were actually chants of "Who are you? Who are you?"
Yep,
it's like, that's the Super Smash Brothers! Come on!
But they didn't call them Super Smash Brothers. They said
they didn't call them anything.
Yeah. And they had all these minions, and it very much reminded me of like the putties in the original like.
I thought the
Power
exact
Rangers.
same thing.
Yeah.
I was literally going doodle-doo, because that's kind of the noise they used to
the
fucking
worst
make.
part is when you messaged me at 10 o'clock in the morning and said you were in 2 matches in, I was probably 2 matches in myself, and we could have watched it together.
Should have.
I wish we could have. I hate not having somebody to mark out with, and this was such a mark
It's not
heavy.
as fun, is it?
Yeah, because you sit here and you scream with yourself, and it's just, I don't know. You need that person to belly bump with, and
like you said, then the minions came up there and they made a throne for player Dos.
Yes.
Which was awesome. It's player Uno, player Dos. I don't know if they're going to be the Super Smash Brothers in AEW. I don't know if they're going to be Uno and Dos. I'm not sure what they're going to do. But anyways, they went on to just beat the shit out of all 4 guys. And, I mean, they made themselves known. This was a great introduction.
Yeah. I did catch a tattoo on one of the minions' arms that I'm going to be looking for going forward in AEW. I'm going to figure out. It was just a tattoo.
The putties?
Yeah, on the putties. It's got to be one of the guys who was in the Battle Royal, is what I figured.
No, it's not.
No,
I would have to look this up.
They actually have specific people as their minions.
If you want to actually keep talking.
Yeah.
They all came from a local wrestling organization. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, okay, that's really cool to know, because I for sure, as soon as I saw them, I'm like, all right, look for distinguishing features, because this is going to be pertinent somewhere down the line. And so I saw that tattoo, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be looking out for this for the future. Call who it was, because if I could have been the first person to say, holy shit, Bray Wyatt was a rosebud, I'd be pretty famous. For a second. But yeah, this was a really cool surprise. Like I said, I didn't know who they were, so I didn't know what to expect. But it was a regular dismembering. Did the Best Friends turn you on a little bit in this match at all?
Well, like I said, better than I expected. I obviously, I'm not a big Trent Beretta fan.
Right.
I've said that before. No thing. Chucky T. I love Chucky T. I love Chuck Taylor. I think Trent Beretta is better with Chuck Taylor than alone. So you can never go wrong with that. But yeah, they definitely won me over in this match. If they keep this up, I'll become a Trent Beretta fan, baby.
There you go.
While I'm looking this up, let's just move on, buddy.
All right. Well, up next we had the Joshi 6-woman tag match with Hikaru Shida, Riho Abe, Riho Mazunami, and they took on the team of Aja Kong, Yuka Sakazaki, and Emi Sakura. And this was it was a fun match. It was very cartoony, all over the place. High-flying action, and it's always a treat to get to see Japanese women's wrestling, because NJPW doesn't really carry that. So it
was a very Joshi-style match.
Yeah.
Very Joshi-style, which a lot of people in the United States are not used to, so it was kind of cool that they let them go out and have it was kind of Americanized, but it was still a very Joshi-style match, and I loved that. I was super down with it.
Yeah, I think so. And it was a showcase. This whole pay-per-view was a showcase of wrestling in all of its forms. And And I think everybody held their own very well across the board. But this match was a lot of fun to watch. And it was my first Aja Kong match, so I'm glad I got to witness it.
Oh, my God. You're first of many, Loke. You're first of many. I have it here now, Paystee.
Jericho had an interview after Double or Nothing where he was talking about the Joshi girls, and he did not mention Aja Kong, like he didn't recognize any of them, and that probably hurt Jericho a little bit in the locker room. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, he is that guy right now, and that could have been on purpose too.
Yeah. It could have been just keep
that's
the heel
been
thing going.
The way he's been playing.
Right.
Paystee, the minions for the Super Smash Bros.
Yes.
Were wrestlers from Snake Pit Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
And in fact, Snake Pit was very proud of them, and the same, not all of them obviously, but the same guys who did the multiple Jerichos were also a few of the guys that were under the mask.
Because it was very obvious that was not Jericho any of those times except for the last one.
Right. So it was it's kind of cool that similar to WWE, and this is a good similarity, they're using independent young guys in their shows and giving them a little bit of taste of what it's like to work on a recorded, big budget, big arena show. Mm-hmm. That's cool. So, yeah, and shout out to Snake Pit Pro Wrestling, which I have never heard of in my life, but I'm assuming they must be around the Vegas area, and good for them.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's always a good thing.
The biggest exposure they've ever had, I'm sure. So yeah, I loved this match. It could have, I think it could have been better for the American audience. I was a fan of it. In fact, my first note when the match, before it even started, I wrote, "I'm giddy for this match." We seen Emi Sakura come out to a Freddie Mercury cosplay. That was super cool.
That was awesome.
We got the first "This is Wrestling" chant, which good for them. And the one thing I do have of a note here, and it makes sense, I put very little teamwork, but all 6 are super impressing me. And from what little research I did on here, I don't think any of them have teamed with each other, at least often. So it's kind of like 6 singles person thrown into a
and that's
tag
what it
match.
felt like. That's what it felt like.
But they were all able to get their stuff in, I think, and show what they could do.
Not every tag match needs to be a tag clinic, like working full tag team force. Like this was good for what it was. One thing I do want to talk about though is that false finish where the bell ringer thought that they counted to 3. The ref was on point though, and WWE would have just ran with it, and that would have been the end of the match. Kudos to AEW for finishing out the match the way it was supposed to be, and kudos to that ref for catching it.
Yep, they kept going it, and they were like, the bell ringer's wrong, and I don't know what the
you
fuck
could
he
tell
was thinking.
that ref looked stressed the fuck out the rest of the match, like, oh my god.
The worst part is that wasn't the winning team, because when that bell rang, I was like, shit, I'm winning this one 4 in a row. And then it ended up, and after that wasn't the ending, I was like, oh shit, I won, because obviously the timekeeper knows the finish, and that's why he rang it.
Yeah.
But then that wasn't the finish.
I just think it was really unfair, because
doing?
a lot of the internet WWE fans shit all over the pay-per-view just for that thing alone. But like WWE makes these mistakes all the time, they just don't call themselves on their bullshit. You know what I mean? That they're just like, that's the way it was supposed to happen.
The last pay-per-view we had 2 bad calls, and neither one of those were planned.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought it was, I don't get what was going on with the timekeeper. My first thought was he knows the finish and he thought this was it.
It was JR.
But then the finish was different. Damn JR. He had a Bell's palsy attack and started ringing a bell by accident.
That's what Bell's palsy is about, didn't you know?
Get it? Bells. Yeah, so this is the first one Paystee won. The first of a really downturn for Fat Mack.
Yeah.
Because the 3 main matches, I was off.
But I was on.
I actually put you down for Dustin Rhodes for some reason, but you're not. But to be fair, they super stroked their own cock on their first pay-per-view, which I also thought was a bad move. And we will get into that a little bit. But next up, we had Cody versus Dustin Rhodes.
This was a brilliant showcase of storytelling in the ring. This, I don't know if I could give you an example of a match that does it as well as Cody and Dustin pulled it off in this match. And these are two guys that you look at any other night and you say, fucking mid-carders, who gives a shit?
Right.
But there was so much passion and energy and hurt and hate and love and everything that you need to make that perfect story. And this isn't even a story they've built up over months. This is just, it's their lives. And it came into fruition without the use of a TV show, and they pulled it off fucking about as perfect as you could get. And I loved Cody's spot in the beginning with Triple H's throwing in the sledgehammer.
Good. We're going to talk about this. Because you and I knew we were going to differ on this.
I mean, it could have fallen apart better. He could have hit the back of it instead of hitting the ass of the chair.
Yeah, and obviously it didn't break the way it was
I know
supposed
you're
to
more
because
one
smoke came out on
for
both
don't mention
sides.
the other team, don't acknowledge them.
Yeah.
But
why?
For what it's worth, I think it's fucking awesome.
Why?
It was a mark out moment.
First of all, Triple H, who I will admit buries so many people and has held so many people down, is also responsible for a large amount of young independent wrestlers, not WWE made guys like Cody, but independent guys like Omega, like the Bucks.
I think there's thoughts here.
Getting a fair shot.
I think there's thoughts, and Cody knows Triple H is the next guy to be it. He knows Vince ain't gonna fight back, but he knows he can get under Hunter's skin.
Okay, so why?
That's why you do it.
This is the wrestling equivalent of a small-dicked motherfucker buying a Ferrari and an assault rifle. If you are good enough, you really shouldn't do this because it only makes the competitor look good. This didn't make Cody look good. This didn't make AEW look good. This did not make the Khans look good. It made WWE, it made everything WWE has said about them so far correct. They are minor league, and they're trying to beat WWE when they know they can't. I mean, it's literally just underlining everything WWE has said. Whether that ends up being true or not, that's what they're portraying. See, in my opinion.
See, and
just mine.
I have my worries and I have my thoughts, okay? If Triple H would not have said what he said at the Hall of Fame ceremony, this would have been a little bit more uncalled for, but the first shots were already fired.
Get it? I get that, yep. But if you don't respond to them, you're proving that they're scared of you, but you're not scared of them.
Plus, Cody did take this.
As soon as you respond, then you're admitting. You know, that's kind of the way I look at it. I guess,
but even Bischoff wanted to poke the bear. You know what I mean? It might be a little soon for that, and I get that.
But Bischoff never poked the bear when he was in the lead.
No.
And WWE never poked the bear until they were behind.
It's a new world, though. I don't know. I see the arguments against it, but I marked out for it. I liked it. It felt good.
Paystee?
It felt like the epitome of what the definition of this whole thing is.
Hey, Paystee, full disclosure, I marked out for it. I thought it was cool and I dug it.
My worry, though, is Cody and Dustin are going to get their dad removed from the WWE Hall of Fame.
No,
Vince would be that petty.
Hasn't been removed yet.
Vince would be that petty.
I don't think so. In all honesty, I don't think so. But the match itself was awesome. Maybe a little too much blood, but it didn't turn me off.
No.
I could see where it would turn other people off.
The thing I didn't like was the distance of time from when he hit his head on the turnbuckle to when she speared him outside the ring and he rolled under to cut his head. First of all, I called it as soon as he rolled under. I'm like, he's cutting.
Yeah.
Because after he hit his head, I'm like, why is there no blood? Obviously, as soon as Cody took the pad off, I'm like, that's exactly what the paint's for. Half of his face is going to be bloody as shit. It's going to be great. But then he bladed. And then it still wasn't bleeding good enough after he bladed. Cody had to fucking sit there and rail on it to get him to fucking pour.
And can we call out the fact, you got to admit this, Paystee, There was no fucking reason for DDP to come out and remove Brandy other than
to show, hey, we got a legend
with us.
Yeah, just like there was no fucking excuse for whoever unveiled the AEW title either. That didn't make any fucking sense. But hey, I'll go with
it's like, come on.
I'll go with it. I'm not his fan. I'm not a fan of him whatsoever, really.
I do want to say though, this match reminded me of two separate matches for different reasons. It reminded me of the Eddie JBL match for obviously for the savageness and the bloodlust.
Yes. Undertaker Flair is your second one, right?
Actually, my second one is Jay Briscoe versus Mark Briscoe for the ROH title, where it was two people who loved each other, two brothers who went out there and just demolished each other, and in the end still loved each other.
Yes.
But they held nothing back from bell rung to bell rung. Nothing was held back in the ring. But before and afterwards, they were still just brothers.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched the show yet, what the fuck are you doing here? Go watch it. But I do not mince my words when I say Dustin was pouring blood. At one point, it was literally faucet pouring all over the ring. I'm hoping they cut up that canvas and auction it out to people, because I would like to have a piece of that canvas.
That would be awesome, but you would never be able to afford it in an auction, and neither would I. I do want to say, though, now that I say that about the Mark and I just said his fucking name. Mark Briscoe and Jay Briscoe. I thought it was super weird that immediately after the match, Cody's like, no, you're not retiring. You're going to be my tag team partner at the upcoming Fyter Fest.
There was a list that the Young Bucks had a match, and I put my name down, and I need my big brother. I still cried. I'm not lying to you. I still fucking wept like a baby. It was beautiful.
I didn't, but I think that should have happened on Being the Elite or on the Nightmare Family, like a day afterwards, after they had some time to cool off. And B, and I'm not saying this just because I picked Dustin Paystee, it would have made sense if Dustin Rhodes won, and he said, "You're still my little brother, Cody. I still want to take care of you. You have a tag match at Fyter Fest. I'm going to be there to back you up." Because right now, Dustin Rhodes shouldn't help his brother because he hasn't done anything good for him and he lost. And B, Cody is asking a loser to join him in a match, which again also doesn't make sense.
Well, they're going to lose the match.
I know, but you don't want to ask like kayfabe wise, you wouldn't ask a loser, right?
Right.
But if Dustin had won, he would be like, hey, you're my little brother, and I know, you have this match and you need help. So he's the winner saying, I can help you beat them.
My big question going into their next match, though, is and I'll let you finish, I'm sorry. But
that's about it. Go ahead.
My big question is, since this is on Cody's grounds, on Cody's terms, is Cody going to have paint on his face for that tag match?
My biggest question is this event going to take place on an island and then none of the wrestlers show up and nobody has any food or water? Because that's what it's sounding like.
Yeah, Pac is booked for every match. That's your main giveaway.
Running behind Paystee, so I know these are like the two main matches, but we're going to knock these out a little bit. Our next...
Go watch Cody and Dustin 5 times over. You won't regret it. Beautiful fucking match. Match of the night in my book.
Quickly.
Yes. Next match.
AAA Tag Team Championship match. Young Bucks defending their title against the Lucha Bros. Lucha Bros lost. I didn't think that was going to happen.
No. I picked otherwise, but I didn't think it was going to happen either. Especially with it being the AAA Tag Team Champions and probably AEW itching to get some real AEW Tag Team Championships out there. Like, they're going to lose them eventually. This was a really good match. I love that they pulled everything that they had out and then some. Like, the Young Bucks pulling out.
I don't think they did.
I mean... Well, before the match happened, and after the match happened, the Young Bucks kept going off about how they hadn't fought a match in so long, and they were so worried about ring rust. So there's your resting on your laurels thing there. Once again, this is their first show on this company, so I understand anybody holding back just for the sake of longevity.
Truly.
But I thought this match was really good paced, and for the fact that their match got fucked it all in, this was a great makeup match. Granted, it didn't have Rey Mysterio, but seeing what he's doing in WWE, I don't care.
Right. Yeah, and Penta was in this instead, which I like Penta even better than Rey.
Yeah.
That's honestly, even though this was, it was only Ray in that match against the Young Bucks and them, I honestly thought that the Lucha Bros would win to make up that difference. Like, oh, we lost before, we won this time. Whatever. I also thought, like you said, the AAA tag titles, you can see, some Hispanics owning that because it's a Hispanic title, and the Bucks going on to be maybe the first AEW tag champs.
I am going to spit some facts right here, though, and a lot of people want to talk about Hangman Page and how he's great and he's going to be a great champion, but it's not his time. AEW is going to put that belt on him before they put it on anybody else. Why? Well, because you're making your own guy and you're building up your own guy, and he's ready. I don't care what anybody says. I think he's ready.
We're not there yet, but before we go any farther, and I don't want you to respond to this till later.
Right.
This pay-per-view has proven otherwise to what you just said, honestly. But back to the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros. I think they both held back, and not in a bad way. Rey Fenix didn't pull out his most amazing high-flying moves. Of course, Penta El Cerro M did not get as hardcore as he could. And the Bucks, they pulled out a lot of their stuff. And they pulled out like
fucking Steen and Generico and...
But they got more in their bucket. And
I
think this was a really good
my
introductory
point, though, was
match.
I like seeing the Young Bucks pulling out moves that their opponents had used on them in the past to try to take them out. Like, they had to dig that deep.
They switched it up. Yeah. Oh, I dig that. 100%. Yeah. And I think this was a perfect introductory match for anybody who maybe doesn't know the Lucha Bros. I don't know anybody watching AEW that doesn't know the Bucks.
Right,
so,
yeah.
So it's good that they used other people's moves. They didn't have to showcase themselves. And honestly,
if you know the Bucks, you should know the Bros.
Maybe not, though. They haven't been in a lot of the same companies at the same time. Though.
No, but they are now.
Or at all. And then we had the main event, which is Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega.
Which is apparently MMA Jericho.
And he showed off all of his past gimmicks, which was kind of a neat. I liked this entrance.
It was pretty cool.
Where it was the evolution of Jericho.
I especially marked when they showed the list because I figured that was copyright by WWE. Like, whoa, holy shit. But right. It was really cool. I mean, you could tell that, like I said earlier, that the people playing the Jerichos were not the Jericho and
Obs.
Yeah. Which I thought was kind of cheap because honestly, you could use the same jacket for two of them. Just one wasn't lit and one was lit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this match, I'm going to go out here and say this, but again, first pay-per-view match was not as good as their New Japan match.
No.
But actually,
it was completely different than their New Japan match. The pacing was different. The moves were different.
They did spend a lot of time on the outside, just like the New Japan match. The majority of it was on the outside. But yeah, it was a different match. They told a different story and played a different match to a different crowd. Correct. Yes. Not as good to me.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Judas Effect, Chris Jericho's new finisher, which is just a back spinning elbow.
He just took John Cena's fucking move. Is all he did, and it's stupid.
No, John Cena's his is just a straight punch.
His is a back fist. No, his is the back fist, and Jericho's is the back elbow.
John Cena's, you cross your arms in front of your body, you take a breath, and then you straight punch him.
No, he hits him with the back fist.
Maybe. I thought it was just a straight punch.
He swings it out. Neither one of us watch a lot of WWE, so maybe I thought he swung it out.
I think both of us might watch a lot less WWE going forward.
Yeah, tell me that isn't the fucking John Cena move.
No, it was pretty lame.
It's his version of John Cena's move. It's stupid, it's ridiculous, and it's not a finishing move. It's a move that every wrestler pulls out multiple times in a match. And the fact that he won it really pissed me off.
In a world where leg drops and elbow drops can be deemed as finishers, this is perfectly viable because you do get a lot more momentum with the backspin.
Not in today's move.
No, I get it.
Who wins with a leg drop or an elbow drop in today's world?
But you got to look at it as, look at your roster. Chris Jericho is your legend. A legend has a move like that.
The one thing I will give him is that
I want to see it's the Judas effect, so I want to see it. Everybody he lands it on, I want to see it have long-term psychological effects on them. Like Kenny Omega is going to be fucked for his next 3 matches because he can't get it out of his head.
The only thing I can say about it is it's a move that as you age, you can still pull off just the same.
Anybody can turn an elbow. I just did it. That's how I stretch in the morning when I wake up.
Yeah, the code breaker was kind of his attempt at that to begin with. And it's not that hard. I mean, as long as you're able to wrestle in the ring, it's not that hard to just flat back yourself.
Yeah.
And that's all the code breaker is.
Yeah.
You flat back.
I'm going to jump up and rest all my weight on your head and shoulders, and you're going to kind of gently lower me to the ground. Yeah.
So it's, I am personally super not a fan of the Judas effect. Going forward, we'll see. You got something like, to me, what he's trying to do is like the V-trigger or the Rainmaker. Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Those seem to have more. Obviously, the Rainmaker, he pulls you into it and he hits you. And I'll just admit, at least this time, it just didn't seem as impactful as a Rainmaker or as a V-trigger or a Rain trigger. But
it could be modified and it could come out a lot better. Yeah, if you did have that ripcord effect on your opponent with your own spin, it could make it seem a lot more feasible.
Yeah, call it the Rip Judas. Or the Judas Ripper. The Judas Ripper. Obviously, this match was the longest out of the bunch, coming in at just under 30 minutes, at 27 minutes exactly.
Big props to Tony Khan on his timing on this card, by the way. Did a good job on his first time.
Yeah. Way better than All In. And to be fair, the excuse me, I'm getting ahead of my own voice here. The least amount of time in any match was 10 minutes. Now compare that to any of your WWE pay-per-views, and you're letting your stars shine.
Yeah, this was
10 minutes,
with the pre-show. This
12,
was a 5-hour card, and it
16.
was this card was better than WrestleMania was, and both of us thought WrestleMania wasn't bad.
WrestleMania went 2 days. Yeah.
It was Fire Fest.
It technically ended the next day. Technically. In fact, people couldn't get home because the transits fucking quit running. So people were stuck having to walk or pay for fucking Ubers or expensive taxis. Right. It was ridiculous. Paystee, overall grade for this, the very first ever All Elite Wrestling pay-per-view called Double or Nothing.
The best part was I was going to call it an A+, but I wasn't going to be a mark out bitch, and then you called it an A+. So yeah, it's an A fucking plus, folks.
I can honestly say any company first major show, especially first pay-per-view, I've never seen be this slick, this well done, this entertaining. For that alone, you have to give them an A+.
Going forward, I think it's only fair we compare all WWE pay-per-views to this when we're giving our grade ranking.
I don't think that's fair.
I don't think WWE should have their own grade scale, and that's kind of what it seems like.
They're a different company. So we have to grade them slightly differently. But we can always at least compare and contrast, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Best match of the night, I think we both agree on this also.
The Cody Dustin match, yeah.
Wow. So a pay-per-view, this hasn't happened in a long time that you and I both agree on the rating, both agree on the best match.
And we both agree on Cody.
To be honest, go ahead.
I said it. That's it.
Well, yeah, but we picked completely every match. We picked somebody different. And it came to 3-4 out of 7. Like, that is as even as it can fucking get.
Hey, that's what we were talking about last week. There's no way of knowing how they're going to book it because they've never booked a show before.
This is as perfect of a fucking pay-per-view as you could get. And I think just the 3-4 shows you that.
Oh, and the roller coaster ride, the ebb and flow of the entire show was just perfect. I wouldn't have moved any matches.
I don't think I would have either, to be honest. I honestly don't think I would have either.
Other than
maybe
because
one or two,
you didn't watch the pre-show, I would put the Battle Royal on the main card.
Yeah, but it's hard to have a Battle Royal on the main card.
I get that. But it was that good.
So let's move into, we got MLW Fury Road coming up.
Yes.
And you and I can both kind of knock over this, I think.
I actually just started tuning back into MLW last week as I was anticipating Double or Nothing. I'm like, I need some good wrestling in my life right now.
Right.
So I started.
And this is going to be a good show.
Fuck yeah.
Super good show.
I'm really looking forward to this. So let's rip right into these bastards. Kicking off the show, we got Koto Brazil versus Daga.
Okay, so first of all, I haven't had a lot of people to ask us about Paystee because I don't know a ton of people who watch wrestling, let alone MLW. Am I the only person who thinks Daga's tongue looks like a gummy and I want to eat it?
You did bring that up on our show with Petrov.
Did I bring that up?
You did.
I don't even remember that.
He's been on MLW real hard lately, too.
Yeah. It looks like a gummy and I want to eat it.
I honestly still have no knowledge of who Daga is, but I will learn at Fury Road.
Well, you know what? You're gonna want to eat his tongue, buddy. How many times can you say that in a pro wrestling match? Like, that motherfucker, I want to eat his tongue. Some of the women, maybe. Some of the men. I don't know.
Quite a few times.
Quite a few?
At least 3. One.
I mean, how big is
one being
Batista's
Boogeyman,
dog?
2 being Undertaker, and then, I mean, Finn Balor because he's Finn Balor. I'd eat anything.
Oh, I fuck his tongue, man, his abs. I just want to lick soy sauce off his abs.
I would bite his tongue off and lick his abs with it.
I would stick my dick in his butt and lick his abs at the same time if I knew how to do that.
That would take a lot of flexibility. You've been doing that DDP yoga then.
I haven't, but I might have to start. Just because I love Daga and I want to eat his tongue, I'm picking Daga for the win here.
And just because I dunno Daga, I'm going Koto Fosho because he's been my boy since I started watching. He hasn't let me down yet. He's good. He is good. I like him. Next up, we have Myron Reed versus Ray Horace. Yeah, I know I've seen Ray Horace. I'm not sure I've seen Myron Reed, but I like the name Myron, and so I picked the name Myron.
Yeah, I'm not big on either of these guys. Like you said, I can't even picture Myron Reed, to be honest, and I've been lax on all of my wrestling lately, but also MLW. Ray Horace, I've seen a handful of times. I'm going with Ray.
All right. And then
this next one's going to be good, Paystee.
Yes. Up next, it's the National Championship Finals with Alex Hammerstone versus Brian Pillman Jr.
And again, we've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I love their secondary title being a national championship. That's cool.
Especially since we've been calling these shows their national divisions. So a national title makes so much sense.
Well, yeah, and we've had international, we've had U.S., we've had TV. There's so many secondary titles. Obviously, I'm sure some of the territories probably had a national championship, but I don't think there's ever been a major secondary title.
I've actually been taking that to the boards lately too, when people reference the indies and then talk about Ring of Honor and New Japan and shit. I'm like, we have a new ranking system, and this is how I think it should go. People seem to be buying onto it.
I was going to say a lot of people are sleeping on MLW.
Yeah, I know. Somebody had posted something about AEW was their first show they've watched outside of WWE, and should they go to TNA or Ring of Honor? I said go to MLW.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
and I'd even put AEW. I'm still waiting to see, so I can't. I mean, the one show we've had, I recommend it. But
and Cody already said their TV show isn't going to be like Double or Nothing was. Their pay-per-views will be a step above. I recommend you
watch any Upstart.
Their pay-per-views will be a step above, but
I recommend you watch an Upstart, so I do recommend them. But obviously, in my opinion, it goes MLW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan, Ring of Honor. And it's sad for me to say because I'm a huge Ring of Honor fan, but they've kind of slipped down the circuit.
It's like God, who the fuck said? I watch so much Starcast shit, but it's like whoever said it. The Ring of Honor seems to have gotten into accepting their position, and they're like not trying to grow any more than what they're at.
I think that's it, and that's not a bad thing.
No.
If they are profitable and they can stay where they are and remain profitable and remain entertaining, that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. That's where ECW was. And how much love does ECW have? You know what I mean?
Yeah, truly.
That's not a bad thing.
But MLW, I think it's the most important to keep your eyes on for sure, just because there's so much happening and everything seems to matter and everything is very solidly put together.
What's the old term? They have their finger on the pulse.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Everybody who goes through MLW is gonna go on
to be an
WWE or AEW.
Yeah.
One of those two. You know what I mean?
100%.
Or they were in one of the big ones and they're showing off what they can really do now. You know, and they're ending their career here. So with this, Paystee, I'm going with the loose cannon's son, Brian Pillman Jr.
Oh yeah, buddy. BPJ all day. I'm right there with you.
Oh, peanut butter jelly.
Yes.
I want some peanut butter jelly.
Peanut butter jelly is my favorite thing to eat in the shower.
Tell me what.
I do like the name Alex Hammerstone, though.
You know what? I want to say Hammerstein, and so it bothers me. I just want to say Hammerstein. I don't know why.
And then you get rape allegations on the mind. Wasn't it a Hammerstein? Wasn't he one of the ones who...
Thinking of Harvey Weinstein?
There you go.
Hammerstein.
Jews, they're all the same, am I right?
You fucking... All right, Mel Gibson. Hammerstein's the ballroom that like WWE and Impact Wrestling would run and Ring of Honor and shit. God, you fucking
Once
Mel
again,
Gibson fucker.
Jews. No.
Okay, next we have what's gonna be an awesome match, and it sucks that it's gonna be a week after Cody Goldust, but if anybody can bring it up there, it's my good friend Sam.
Yeah.
Falls Count Anywhere, Sami Callihan versus Mance Warner. What do you got?
Going with Sami Callihan on this one. Even though I know he's a little down in the dumps that his friend didn't come back for him. Yet. And I kind of wonder if we'll see him at the end of this.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I think we're going to see him everywhere.
I mean, it's a Falls Count Anywhere.
He's going to go everywhere. He's missed wrestling so much. Yeah. Sami Callihan is definitely my pick. I don't know who the fuck Mance Warner is.
Oh, he's hardcore, but man, with the year, the last year and the beginning of this year that Sammy's had, I find it hard to ever bet against him.
Right, yeah.
He's been in more organizations than any other wrestler. Like, honestly, that's where he's been. You talk about MLW, you talk about Impact Wrestling, you talk about Ring of Honor. Any place that you can think of that you can wrestle, CZW, anywhere, he's there. ECWA, Eastern Championship Wrestling Association. Anywhere you can think of that's a major indie, Sammy's running shit. Lucha Underground. Sammy was there.
Yeah,
like, holy shit.
He's the hardest working heel in the industry. There's no doubt to that. But after AEW, I mean, lately in general, but after AEW, it's been kind of cemented. I think one of the participants in the next match may have overtaken Sami Callihan as favorite heel in my mind.
Well, you know, there is a major jack-off fucker in the next match. And that is Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Right, that bastard.
No, I'm kidding. I love DBSJ. Davey Boy Smith Jr. versus Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Yes.
Who is... He might not be the hardest working heel in the industry, but he may be the most heelish heel in the industry.
For somebody who's never had like a major television, he's never been on WWE. He has got this television character down to a fucking science, and he's what, fucking in his early 20s still.
Yeah, and he has created a character that I cannot...
Did you see his interview with Chris Van Vliet?
Yes,
where he ordered room service and it showed up partway. Oh my God. And he plays the heel. Like, he lives the role. He is
a heel that I cannot sit and say I cannot compare him to any other wrestler. He is his own thing.
I also, since I literally, AEW got over and I went to YouTube. I'm like, okay, time to digest the rest of everything that happened this weekend. And I've been sitting there watching it. And I watched these documentaries, like old school, like indie documentaries. And this guy, Matt something, made this documentary about making MJF. No, yeah, maybe. Maybe it was.
Okay.
But like
maybe not.
MJF, he does this interview with MJF, and MJF talks about his life and everything, and then halfway through the interview's over, and it switches, and it's like, well, something didn't seem right, and so he starts digging into MJF's past, and he finds out that MJF the entire interview lied to him about every facet of his life because he had so much to hide, and you never really find out the truth about who he is at the end. And I think that's so perfect for his fucking character. Like, oh
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he also did the same guy who did the MJF documentary. He did one for Joey Janela that was really good too. Talked about Joey Janela versus CZW original owner.
Oh, Danzig.
Yeah, Danzig, where they went off the rooftop of that building through the truck and the fucking spikes and the fucking tables.
That's what made Joey Janela. That's where he
Danzig saved his fucking life.
Spring break and everything.
There was a fucking steel bar running through the middle of that shit, and if Danzig wouldn't have went down, feet down, Janela would be dead right now.
Anybody who hasn't seen this clip, you don't have to watch the whole match. If you haven't seen this clip, look up Danzig, Joey Janela, pickup truck. Just look up that. It's gonna, even if you just do Danzig, Joey Janela, it's gonna come up. This is literally the second sickest spot I've ever seen in pro wrestling. The first being Mick Foley through the top of the Hell in a Cell with the chair falling on his face. The second is Danzig, Joey Janela,
honestly,
off the top of the building through the pickup truck. And the third is Mick Foley, Hell in a Cell, going through the announcer's desk. Those are my top three sickest fucking moments in wrestling that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I will agree with you there. Honestly, I will say probably Foley going through the Hell in a Cell to the ring is probably just a nostalgia factor, because I think what Danzig and Janela did was way more insane.
Maybe, but I think going through something, I think with Mick Foley going through the cage so that it alters how he lands, because, you know, he didn't just drop straight, he landed on something and then fell, so he couldn't determine how he landed, which obviously them coming off the roof, they knew how they were landing. Him hitting an unforgiving Matt, I honestly think has less give than the shocks of a pickup truck bed. I think.
Yeah, probably.
Never been on a bed. Yeah. And then the chair falling on top of him afterwards just is like the fucking... that's the ice cream on the fucking cake, buddy.
Man, it's some good-ass ice cream.
But nonetheless, any of those three are worth watching. Go back and watch all three of them motherfuckers. I don't give a shit. You know? Go...
Yeah, and I'm totally sorry about side railing everything, but these Joey Janela and MJF like stood out to me so much from AEW, and they were just pre-show guys. Like, holy shit.
They're two of the biggest guys.
And they're going to be so honestly. Good. They're going to be so good. Look out for these guys. If you're not familiar with them, I mean, you should be. But if you're not, get used to them, because you're going to see them. I would not doubt MJF for WWE sometime in the future, unless he decides to be with AEW forever.
Right. I think the money is where he'll fall.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. If he is the heel, he lives. He'll be gone in 2 weeks.
And to be fair, I knew MJF before AEW, but not a lot. But Joey Janela, from way back, CZW, he does his spring break show that he puts on and everything. He's been one of my sleeper guys for a long time, and I'm a huge fan of his. Yeah. So
I've been trying to keep up with MJF since First Wrestling brought him to Minnesota just before he signed with AEW. And then he signed with AEW, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm watching. And
so we got to knock through Paystee. Our sidetrack took us off a little bit, and that's fine. Okay. That's cool. We got Austin Aries versus Adam Brooks. You and I both know who's going.
Yeah, if it ain't Phil, Brooks ain't winning. So...
Yeah, exactly. So it's Austin Aries, a double, or the ass, whatever Paystee wants to call him. Next up, we got the World Middleweight title. Teddy Hart is defending it against Jimmy Havoc, who you see in All Elite Wrestling's Battle Royal.
And he was another standout. He staple gunned a lit cigarette to Joey Janela's forehead.
Hey, that's awesome.
I liked it.
In the Battle Royal?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm going
My
back
favorite part, though, is like
Paystee.
shortly there later where Joey Janela was powerbombed outside of the ring through a table, and he landed on his head, neck, and shoulders, and it looked like he died.
Oh, I do have to bring up Paystee. Again, we're falling behind, but whatever.
I'm sorry. I was totally prepared to make this whole episode be nothing about gloating over Double or Nothing.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Anyways, so they brought out tables that were obviously not WWE tables. And you're like, oh shit, do they got New Japan tables? And then people went through the tables and they broke in 2 straight fucking lines. And you're like, yeah, they just got gimmick tables that look different than WWE's. They're the exact same fucking gimmicked tables.
Right.
So cool, we got that. Moving on. Oh, I'm picking Teddy Hart keeping his middleweight title.
I'm going with Jimmy Havoc just to give AEW that rub, and I think Jimmy wants Mox. He's wanted Moxley since Dean left WWE, so I think he needs to be building himself up wherever he's at.
I think this is a match that has rules, and Jimmy Havoc we know is way better with a no rules match.
Yeah.
So I think Teddy Hart has the advantage here. He's a much better wrestller than Jimmy Havoc.
You're going the Hart Dynasty across the board on this pay-per-view, and I'm just trying to kind of fight back against that a little bit. I like the Hart Dynasty, but I also I feel like I'm going to like to see them lose more than I'm going to like to see them win.
I got Brian Pillman, I got Davey Boy Smith, I got Teddy Hart.
Yeah, BPJ is the only one with any credibility in my book. It's all that mullet.
People who aren't in the Hart Dynasty, we have for allegedly the main event a tornado tag match. Filthy Tom Lawler and the Von Erichs, the new Von Erichs, versus Contra.
It should be the old Von Erichs. That would be funner.
Well, you know what? They're all dead.
Well, then Tom Lawler's on his own, isn't he? That's good versus Contra, I think. I'm Contra Club 444 life.
MLW Weekend at Bernie's. Your Contra Club 444 Life. I am with the Von Filthies, as I've dubbed them.
There you go.
So that's our MLW Fury Road prediction.
Honestly, it could go any way across the board. I don't watch MLW as much as I should, but every time I do, I enjoy it, and it reminds me why I should continue watching it. I'm just looking forward to seeing this come to fruition. It's going to be good, and I'm really itching to see how many of the AEW guys go over in this pay-per-view, because it's kind of a thing.
It'll be interesting.
You're gonna assume a lot of these promotions are gonna want to keep them happy to keep them around, right? Because it's just an option now. They don't have to be there.
We'll see. That's yet to be determined.
MJF though, God, he's gonna be my favorite. I know it already. Ah, yes. And now it's time for yet another predictions in this inundated. I don't know what word goes with inundated well. We're not at a title yet, folks. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, but you know what? This is another first time ever. We've had the first ever AEW pay-per-view, and now we have the first ever NXT Takeover that does not coincide with a WWE pay-per-view.
Yes, indeed. A standalone, and it's got its own number. That's right, folks. It's NXT Takeover 25 XXV.
I didn't believe it, Paystee. When I seen it was coming up a few weeks ago, I was like, there has not been 25 takeovers. There's been 25. This is the 25th takeover.
See, I guess it makes sense. You figure there's at least 4 a year at least, maybe 5.
There's about 4 a year, yeah, but it just doesn't seem like that. I still think of NXT as the newbie brand, but...
Yeah, no, they've been around... I'd say there's been 3 generations of takeover.
Well, I remember when Bo Dallas was champion, and I thought he was going to be a big thing in WWE. He was the first of many who were going to be a big thing in WWE and failed miserably due to Vince McMahon.
Yep. It's good shit.
Sad but true.
So starting off this one, we got Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong, which is actually a Matt Riddle match I'm looking forward to seeing finally. It's about time.
I think this could be good.
It's about time.
I could see the stretcher versus the backbreaker.
I think it
could be a good complementary style.
Riddle Dream could have worked well together if they would have held it off longer. Build up Riddle a little bit more. I think this is going to be Riddle's first great match in TakeOver.
Both of them just weren't into that match. I mean, that's what it seemed like to me. I can't speak for them personally. Just neither one seemed like they were.
I agree. I agree. And I think it's the egos. Matt Riddle knows Velveteen can't touch him in the ring, but Velveteen knows Matt can't touch him on the mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so they
that
don't
is
want to
true,
work
100%.
together. Yeah. So I think this is, I really do strongly believe, Roderick strongly believe that this is going to be Matt Riddle's best match on TakeOver so far.
Well, Roderick, strongly believe that Matt Riddle's going to win.
I'm going to say strong. I didn't say strong yet, but since you said Matt Riddle, I think it's only fair I put my...
Well, I'm undisputed era all the way, but because of
Roddy's not exactly 100% UE.
Yeah, well, yeah, what's coming up in the future, it's like, well, I know they're not all going to win. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
The next match I'm super looking forward to, though, because it's going to bring a former NXT standout back to his glory. I hope.
Oh, it's going to be good. This is the match Velveteen Dream needs to have.
It is a VAT match. This is the
Your new name
match.
is VAT Match.
We put it all in a VAT.
Your new name.
Match,
your new
baby.
name is VAT Match.
VAT Match. I like that. VAT Match, the artist formerly known as Fat Mac.
No, this is good. I'm glad Tyler Breeze went back because it's at least someplace where he'll get used other than for YouTube videos.
He was great when he was in there originally.
Yep. I couldn't stand the whole supermodel gimmick at the time. It took till he went to the main roster for it to grow on me fully. But I love him, and he deserves everything. And I wouldn't be mad if he beat Velveteen Dream. I wouldn't, because he deserves his place on NXT. I think he belongs there more than he belongs on the main roster.
He does, but I honestly...
It's Dream's time.
I would be a little upset if he beat Dream because I don't want a Vince McMahon WWE guy coming down to NXT and whooping a champion of NXT. Like, to me, that's
I get
no
where you're coming from, but I would feel it would be different if it was like AJ Styles or somebody who went right to the main roster. At least Tyler's been through this system before. This is his place.
Yeah, but to me, it feels like when they brought WCW guys in and then jobbed them all to WWE guys. It's like, no, let's put Tyler Breeze in his place. Since you've left NXT, you've lost a few steps. You haven't had the competition you had down here. You haven't been the performer you have. And you need to build yourself back up. If he has a great showing against Velvy, let's do a 3-match thing where Tyler Breeze loses this one. They have a second match, and Tyler Breeze wins by disqualification, count out, something like that, where he doesn't lose the title. And then a third match, which is amazing, maybe a fucking ladder match, we don't know. And Tyler Breeze wins the NA title, the secondary title of NXT. That would be awesome. Wouldn't he be the first person to win? Or no, he didn't have the NXT title.
He'd be the first person to come back and win a championship, though.
Sure.
You got your first in history there for the WWE books.
There you go, WWE. We built it for you. All in all, I think Velveteen Dream.
I think this should be higher on the card, honestly. That's my biggest complaint about this match.
We don't know.
Yeah, we're both on board with Velveteen Scream.
Yes.
I mean Velveteen Scream. I'm sorry, I read my shit wrong. I combined both of ours. I like Velveteen Scream, though. I think you like it, too.
I know. I do, but I wasn't going to point it out. I was just going to let you go. Dude, I stopped the show to take a poop.
It's the newest iteration of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Velveteen Scream Force.
Cause we are the Aqua Teens, make the homies say ho, and the girlies want to scream. Number 1 in the hood.
Aqua TV Show was my favorite.
That wasn't one of them, so keep trying. There's Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
No, Aqua TV Show existed. It's on Hulu.
No, Aqua TV Show wasn't one of them. It was Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It was, I have them all on DVD, look. Aqua something, whatever was the last one. Was it Aqua something,
yeah,
whatever?
it was right after Aqua TV Show.
No. It was, anyways, that has nothing to do with this.
It might.
We'll do this afterwards.
Oh, no.
So let's keep going, Loke.
Just so you're aware, I'm sending the theme song to Aqua TV Show to your inbox on Facebook right now. Okay. It's real.
All right. But next up, we have a ladder match for the vacant NXT Tag Team titles. What do we got here, Paystee?
We've got the Undisputed Era versus the Street Profits versus the Forgotten Sons versus the Bastards, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. The fucking assholes.
Can I just say, I have never... This may be the worst match in NXT TakeOver history. I'm not excited for this match.
I mean, honestly, but it's a ladder match between 4 teams, and so if they try to one-up Jericho or the Hardys and Edge and Christian and 3D, it could be good. It could be good.
They're not...
It's TakeOver. It's not main roster WWE.
I know. I love Undisputed Era.
I don't know the rest of them.
I'm like...
I don't know. Who's the Forgotten Sons? I know Lorcan and Burch, but I don't like them.
Yeah, they're no
I know they
good.
just injured one of our UE
Profits.
buddies. So I like them even less.
It's just... I'm not looking forward to this. I'm not looking forward to this at all, Loke.
It could be good. Don't lose faith. It's NXT. It could be really bad, but I'm hoping it could be good. We could look at this and say, "Holy shit, it's better than War Games."
But no.
We could.
No.
This one match could be WWE's entire answer back to Double or Nothing.
No.
Undisputed Era for the win.
You remember Wesley Blake, right?
No.
Blake and Murphy?
Yes. I didn't know he had a first name. I thought that Blake was his first name.
You thought it was Blake.
I mean, that's how WWE does, right? Simple, flat names that mean nothing.
Steve Cutler, who's a nobody.
Steve Cutler, okay.
Yeah.
Are they the Forgotten Sons?
Okay. And Jackson Riker.
Ooh.
Those are the Forgotten Sons.
There's 3 of them?
Which 2 of them it's going to be. There's 3. I mean, we forgot all 3 of them. They're forgotten. No, I'm not looking forward to this.
I know the Street Profits are their new attempt at a black urban tag team, which is already stale.
They're the new
JTG, whatever the fuck.
What was JTG and Shad Jaspar?
The hoodie gangsters, basically.
Yeah, we'll call them the hoodie gangsters. That's what Vince sees them all as, right? That's what he sees them all as. Yeah,
honestly, they're all on the same level as the Mexicools riding down their lawnmowers.
Oh my God. So yeah, I'm with you. Undisputed Era. If anybody else wins, it's disgusting. NXT Women's Title match. We got the unbeatable Shayna Baszler versus the fantastical Io Shirai.
This is going to be a good one. It's going to be Shayna matches are always fun, and I think this is going to be...
Yeah, and these two have really gone at it a lot. I'm picking Shayna Baszler, although this is her time. Be the time that she
if Ronda Rousey wants to go have a baby and not be around for a while, Vince wants Shayna Baszler on the main roster. Yeah. And then he'll see that Shayna is far better for the product than Ronda Rousey probably ever was, other than the name value.
So I'm kind of going. I'm going with Baszler. That's what I'm going with.
It's the safe bet. Any other pay-per-view, you'd get me to say Baszler. Yeah, she's going to keep it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's who I'm going with. Not who I want.
I'm going with Io Shirai because I think it's time. It's got to be time. It's getting to the point where I was ready for her to lose it 3 pay-per-views ago, and so now it's like I'm waiting, like looking at my watch, and just like, come on now, any minute. And it's the time. I mean, the time Ronda Rousey's not there. Ronda Rousey's not there, and her versus Becky Lynch. I mean, that's SummerSlam. Yeah.
Too right. And then we have the NXT title match. We got Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, Bay.
Again.
I'm going to let you take the first pick on this, and I'll explain my pick afterwards.
All right. I'm going to sum up my pick in a very simple, easy for everybody to learn chant that we can all do at WWE events going forward. And that's
easy.
Johnny, not going to lose it until Ciampa returns. Sorry, buddy. Johnny, not going to lose it until Ciampa returns. Sorry, buddy. I think we can all handle that, right?
So, first of all, I agree with you. Johnny Gargano is going to win this match. Second of all,
you're just throwing this?
It's Adam Cole, Bay. I'm picking Adam Cole, Bay. Because if he wins, awesome. If he doesn't win, I picked my guy. Out of everybody who's contracted to WWE, the saddest part is, I think Adam Cole is maybe my number one. My number two is maybe AJ Styles. My number three is maybe Johnny Gargano. And my number four is maybe Daniel Bryan. And they can move and swirl or whatever. But as far as NXT is concerned, I'm just going to stick with Adam Cole.
Hey, do it. Honestly, in my heart, I want Adam Cole to win because he deserves it. But the way I look at it, is Ciampa and Gargano are Triple H's boys. And he's got some serious love for them that he probably doesn't even have for his own kids.
Well, storyline wise, though, it does.
And when
sense.
Ciampa had to heartbreakingly leave just before the WrestleMania, just before their big takeover moment, I'm willing to bet Triple H told him nothing is going to change until you get back. It's going to be okay. Right. I honestly, I feel like I've astral projected, and I know this to be a fact. Johnny Gargano. Ciampa's coming back, he's got maybe 6 more months, and that's at a maximum.
Right.
Unless Adam wins it, and then Johnny wins it back just before Ciampa comes back. But that would be stupid. And so I think you let Johnny hold it.
So in all honesty, for some reason, NXT 25 is not going to be the worst takeover, but one I'm not as excited.
But that makes you more excited, though, doesn't it? Because it's going to blow your mind further than you expected it to, because they always do.
I know WWE is good at taking milestones and super underperforming during
Honestly,
them.
Every match in Double or Nothing, I was like, holy shit, I can't wait to see how WWE responds on Monday, and then they didn't do anything cool at all. Nothing. I still haven't watched it. I said for sure I was going to watch Raw and SmackDown this week just to see what changes, and then I watched a couple of highlights, and I'm like, oh. So Sami Zayn said AEW.
We do not have time to get
this is what I wanted the whole episode to be.
Paystee, we do not have time to get into how bad Raw and SmackDown were.
I don't know anything really about SmackDown, but I know Raw was really bad. Hour and a half of talking before you had one match, which was Shane versus a jobber, Anoa'i.
I heard
Shane jobbed in Anoa'i.
Or there was a complete hour.
Who's trying to raise money to save his dad's life or his uncle's life. And they jobbed him.
He was going to save his dad's life for his uncle's life?
Somebody's got...
He's trying to
somebody
save his
who's
dad's
not
life
Roman
for his
Reigns and the
uncle's
family
life?
has cancer, and they're doing a fundraiser thing, and they're sending Samoa Joe to wrestle at it, and they're sending a couple other guys, and then they brought the Anoa'i, who's not signed to WWE, in to lose a match to Shane.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about
that was the action on Raw. That was your match on Raw, and the rest was talking. Like,
there you go. And the rest was like, fucking, I don't even give a shit. So we don't even want to get on it.
I want to get on it.
We're going to move on to the news.
Join Paystee White on the Patreon after a couple more shots, guys.
We got both pro wrestling news and strictly weekly Elite Dirt Sheet news. The first thing, Paystee, in our Savage Sentinel. What do we got?
Oh, yeah. This is one I found, and I find this amusing, and we've said this potentially in the past, and I think it could be, but coming from the person it's coming from, I just... it's like Trump saying no collusion.
Yeah, right, exactly. I agree.
So we're going to keep you in the know, bro. Vince Russo is convinced that WWE and AEW are in bed together and plans to expose him on an upcoming podcast. He also tweeted, "Don't misunderstand me. If WWE and AEW are working together, as I believe they are, it's a good thing. If it makes the wrestling product better for the casual fans, I'm just saying, don't be worked. This has happened once before with the ECW and WWE. History tends to repeat itself." I'm going to listen to Russo's podcast because I don't normally do it because I can't stand him most of the time.
So I want to call out a couple things here. First, it happened once before with ECW. WWE.
After WWE bought
happened.
ECW.
No, Paystee. Not true. You are
Okay.
wrong. I'm sorry,
Hey, I'll eat that. I was never an outside guy until this podcast started.
Back in 96, WWE brought in ECW to promote their first ever pay-per-view Hardcore Justice.
One night only.
No, that was
One night stand.
ECW
Sorry, my bad.
Was gone. That was after
okay.
ECW
Sorry.
was gone. Yeah, that was a WWE pay-per-view. But no, they brought him in. They had a storyline with Jerry Lawler dogging him. Jerry Lawler would make appearances on ECW TV. Paul Heyman and some of his guys would come to WWE. They even had matches with ECW wrestlers on WWE. They were not the same company, but WWE was promoting ECW with the belief that WWE could take people from ECW, bring them to WWE, and ECW would be a training ground. They knew the mind of Paul Heyman and all that. But this happened on WWE TV, and this happened on ECW TV. It was in front of the fans. So even though they played it off as fake, it was still right there. Which ECW, or the AEW, I'm sorry, is not, obviously, at least at this time.
But I do see the lines like the whole Cody Triple H thing with the throne thing. Like, if it was a work between the two companies, I could totally see.
They would do that.
And if it is between the two companies, it's not Vince. Vince has nothing to do with it. It's all Hunter and it's Cody, if it's anything.
But I also want to say that there were so many rumors back in the day that Vince Russo was sent to WCW by Vince McMahon to sabotage it, and that it was a whole work.
But then you got
that he's playing off of these.
But then you got Mr. S
that are completely
over
different.
in AEW. You know what I mean? It could be.
It's not true. It almost couldn't be true. At least legality
unless it's Triple H trying to give Vince to step down because he can't handle competition.
If it was Triple H involved, possibly. But the answer is we know it's no. But Vince. I love Vince Russo. Keep doing your thing.
He's as crazy as I am.
And I love you. Another person that's kind of crazy because this is something everybody knows not to do.
I've never been on an airplane before, and I know.
Let me just, you've never been on an airplane?
I mean, I've been on like a 4-passenger little dinky shit when I was 13.
Wow, you just blew my mind.
Yeah. I'm a land mammal.
Have you been on a train?
No.
Have you been on a bus? Like not a school bus, like a cross.
No, I've never.
Bus?
No, any cross country I've done has been in a car. It's been car trips for me my whole life.
You just blew my mind, Luke. I'm sorry.
I went to Michigan and I took a ferry across Lake Michigan to Mackinac Island.
I've taken ferries.
I've taken a ferry into the wake of Niagara Falls.
I super recommend out of anything a train. If you can take a train through like a beautiful countryside and either book it during the spring or fall, I recommend you do it and take your kids.
Trains.
It's
getting harder and harder every year to find a fucking train. They don't exist.
No, it isn't. Yeah, just go Amtrak. Amtrak is everywhere. And take your kids with you, and they will love it, and you get the amenities of a flight, and you get your own room, you get to be alone, and you get such beautiful scenery. Better scenery than
and a Nintendo Switch.
That is, yes. And that has nothing to do with this, but I'm going to move on.
It also has nothing to do with this. I'm out of soda, so I'm currently drinking bourbon mixed with moonshine cherry juice and moonshine cherries. That's
bourbon straight up with a cherry.
Moonshine bourbon cherry juice. Yes.
I want to just pour some bourbon into a 17-year-old's cooch and call it bourbon.
I mean, I can tuck my shit and you can pretend.
It's not as good, low. Too hairy. You gotta start trimming. I've told you gotta start trimming.
You hold my stomach up and I'll trim.
You know what? God
you hold my stomach up and I'll trim. Otherwise,
this.
I'll hold my stomach up and you trim. I'm cool either way. I think I can trust you enough not to hold
your
me.
balls and your stomach at the same time. I've told you this. This is shit we've gone over. I'm gonna hold your gut and your
Kirsten's
balls.
Good at it.
It's one or the other. Your balls are so heavy, I gotta use 2 hands, Loke.
Time while you trim my pubic hairs.
You got big balls. I gotta use 2 hands. You got big balls. Nonetheless, Terry Runnels was arrested for bringing a gun to the Tampa airport. Holy shit. She was arrested at security.
She should have been arrested long before that. You shouldn't have got past the front entrance, really, with a gun.
The charge carries the typical 5 and 5 punishment, Paystee. For those of you who aren't former felons, that means up to 5 years in prison and up to $5,000 in fines. Yes, the former Mrs. Goldust explained the snafu on social media shortly after being released on $20,000 bail.
She's so white she would explain it as a snafu, too, while throwing up the bunny ears, too. It was a snafu.
But in all honesty, this actually makes sense. So listen to her. I don't know that is true, but I'm going to say this makes sense.
Sure.
She said, when I go to see my mom, I pack a gun because she has armadillos that ruin her garden and every other critter that goes after her.
All I heard was when I go see my mom, she still lives in the same town I went to high school in, and all my ex-boyfriends who picked on me because I was fat and ugly, and I bring my gun.
I usually take my gun when I go to see her. I was with her for about a week and a half and helping her out. I got home and was literally, I think I got 8 hours sleep in 3 days.
Who shoots a possum with a 9mm?
It's an armadillo!
Shouldn't it be a shotgun then? Shotgun then.
They got a hard shell.
Fucking 9mm. I bet she holds it sideways too. Gangsta style.
And then I got up this morning, Wednesday the 29th, and I think it was 4 a.m. when I got up to make this early flight to Allentown for the show for the benefit for Samu.
Yeah, that's right. Use the Anawa'i family as an excuse, you bitch.
To be fair, she literally only said for Sam. So she didn't write the Anawa'i name. I just put it in there so folks know.
She just whitewashed it. That's all. She just took out the U.
And literally, it did not even cross my mind that my gun was in my Vera Bradley tote. She did name drop the Vera Bradley.
I thought I left it in my Dolce & Gabbana.
That I always take on a plane.
My mom was mailing it home to me.
It was the most, God, I've never been in trouble in my life, and it scared the hell out of me. It was a simple mistake. Dear God, it was just horrible. If you're a praying soul, pray, because it still scares me. This is something that, if you're a Christian, I don't think this is something you pray for. Like, there's real things like kids starving.
Honestly, if you're a Christian in this kind of scenario, if you are in the right, you know God's got your back and you got nothing to worry about. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess if you're a Christian in this scenario, you're like fucking yay guns, no abortions, woo! But, you know, that's Christians.
And then TSA gets in the mix and you're like, hail Satan, father of all life and hell that is.
She also said, I don't even know what to say because I'm going to start crying, so I'm going to shut up. But I at least wanted you guys to know what a mistake I had made and what happened. I think some places are reporting it as if I intended to do something terrible. I simply forgot it was in my bag. I 100% believe her. I don't think she came to the fucking airport planning on shooting people up. I think it was a mistake. I think she took it with her. I think it's a super sloppy
Is it
mistake.
bad that I could see Terry to fucking shoot up an airport, though?
Terry Runnels, yeah, because she's never been, like, involved in anything.
No, I get that, but...
She's not Sonny. No. I could see Sonny doing
But that's the thing. You could see Sonny doing it, so it would probably never happen.
Yeah, I think she had a bad rap. I think
she goes and shoots up an airport because her ex-husband had the best match of his career.
But in the rare occasion where I'm going to slip something political in this, if motherfuckers weren't allowed to just carry random fucking handguns around for stupid reasons like shooting armadillos, this shit would never fucking happen.
Right. Oh, Paystee conspiracy file.
Right there.
Paystee conspiracy file. Vince paid Terry to do this, to knock the Runnels name down a couple notches.
There you go. I dig it. And he's Republican. It would make sense.
Yep, make guns look
Paystee,
bad. That gets the Republicans higher. That works.
Paystee,
No collusion.
I am going to open an Alaskan Husky IPA that I've been drinking all night.
I got a Voodoo Ranger. Da, na, 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 na.
That was last
Oh, I
week.
still got it.
Oh, there you go. But I got the Alaskan Husky. And with that being said, though, I want you to explain why you and I are sitting at home drinking and we are not going to leave this entire fucking night.
Because drinking and driving, folks, it's a thing you should know about, and you should know by now you don't do it. Because if you're a decent person, you drink at home and you stay at home, or you drink at the bar and you stumble home. But you don't get behind the wheel. And this next story is exactly why. Rachel Ellering, daughter of WWE Hall of Famer Paul Ellering, as it goes without saying, was a victim of a hit and run Thursday. Thirsty Thursday. Well, she was driving home from WWE Performance Center, where she's been working. You know, she's gearing up to be the next big thing. Well, she sent a tweet early Thursday morning. Let me start by saying this. I am okay. I was hit by a drunk driver today on my way home from the Performance Center. It was not Paystee or Fat Mac because they're responsible and stay at home. It was a hit and run.
Yeah.
I'm extremely thankful.
Or you know.
It was my passenger side that was hit. But some people aren't so lucky. Please, don't drink and drive.
Truer words have never been spoken.
It is true.
And I mean that. You and I, we sit here and we drink, and I have fun drinking, and we drink a lot, Paystee. Sometimes I drink more than I should during our show. But I do not drink and drive. I never have. I never will. I've never had a DWI. It's not my thing. I am more happy to stay at home drinking or finding people to drive me from here to there. It saves me so much money. It saves me so much time. And it sets a good example to my son. And you've never had a DWI or any kind of drinking. No. Two motherfuckers right here that can tell you we party like hell, we're crazy as hell, and we still choose not to drink. It's so easy in this day and age, Paystee. When you got Uber, when you got taxis, when you got buses, when you got everything in the world to help you out, there's no reason to fucking drink and drive. It's stupid. It's dumb. And you know what? You deserve every negative thing that happens to you when you drink and drive. 100%.
Right.
I'm gonna back
I will
that
say,
up.
as an almost 31-year-old man, I find it hard to even drink and play video games. So why would you get behind the wheel of a car?
Super stupid. Super.
But get drunk, folks. Just do it stationary.
Truly, because getting drunk is elite. And we're going to move on to the weekly elite. Shit.
Just thought I'd hit the high notes for you there, buddy. That's for all the folks listening with their headphones. Congratulations, assholes.
So, Paystee, just to let you know, this is a little bit of
It's osmosis. There you go. It's Osmosis Jones.
AEW.
Osmosis Jones, the best movie ever made.
John Moxley, the best. You got Will Smith.
Chris Rock.
No, you got Chris Rock.
I guess, me and my fucking Jews, I think you just one up me. It's a good thing you're native.
Okay, well, who is the pill? I want to say that was Patrick
No,
but am I fucking up?
I think you're fucking up. Yes. Yeah. Well, you're native again, so I'll give you a pass there from the white community. That's my gift to you.
Okay.
Chief Redcorn.
The Weekly Elite Dirt Sheet tells us that Jon Moxley, as we have mentioned earlier, made his AEW debut on Double or Nothing. In addition to signing a multi-year deal with that upstart company, he has also come to terms on an agreement with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Paystee, did you hear this?
Yeah, I did. I've been fucking tapped in like a heroin addict all week on this AEW shit.
Oh, I'm telling you, he'll debut for New Japan on June 5th against IWGP United States champion Juice Robinson. According to Justin Bissaro of Sports Illustrated, New Japan Pro Wrestling General Manager Michael Craven has confirmed that Moxley's agreement with New Japan Pro Wrestling is completely separate from AEW, though.
Yes.
As of this recording, AEW and New Japan Wrestling do not have a working relationship with
They will another. After this.
Although some of their wrestlers are going to work for both companies.
I want to see the Bullet Club and AEW. And I want to see the Elite shun them hard. Like, I want that to be a storyline. You know what I mean? And then have the Elite versus the Bullet Club. Because that would sell more pay-per-view buys. Probably twice as many as you got here. You know?
That would be great. And General Manager Michael Craven said on this subject, New Japan and Jon Moxley came to terms on this agreement some time ago, completely independent of AEW.
He still signed with them first.
He said, we don't know
publicly.
That, Paystee. He said, our understanding is that he is free to wrestle in Japan. We wish AEW well, but we do not have a working relationship as
they
of
will.
now.
Mark my words.
My guess is he probably signed with New Japan before.
Probably,
AEW,
but he wants to stay in the States because of his wife.
Let him.
Who's his wife? Renee. Young.
Renee Zellweger is his wife?
Her contract is supposed...
She's not that young, Paystee. Renee
no,
Zellweger...
she's not. That's
Renee
me, myself, and Irene, right? Full circle.
There you go, full circle. There you go, folks. We made it. Just turn off the podcast now. It's over.
We'll see you next week, folks.
Woo!
All right.
Have a good one, folks. It was great having you here.
No, but I guess Renee Young's contract is just about up too, which is good because WWE is going to hurt her.
Yeah, I heard it's up. I heard it was up like the beginning of next year. But
it's a matter of months though. It's not like a year and a half. That's all I'm saying.
Correct. Yeah. It's less than a year. There we go. It's less than a year. I would assume she's definitely leaving because we know she was unhappy with this way back with Talking Smack, right? Paystee.
I'm here.
My God. Remember Talking Smack? Do you remember that was
yes,
a thing?
Yes. Good lucha things.
Daniel Bryan and
That's why Talking Smack ended. Good lucha things.
Yeah, okay. Remember she was really pissed when that ended, her and Daniel both, and they were vocal about it. Remember that? Okay, yeah. So I honestly think, like, I think she would easily, number one, I think she would leave WWE for AEW.
Oh, yeah.
Number two,
she will.
I think AEW would definitely benefit from having her as an announcer, which I know you...
Honestly, after Double or Nothing, she could probably do better than all three of them, yeah. They weren't good. I mean, they're not used to each other yet, and I'm going to give them that.
The announcing was bad.
Yeah. This is something that WWE fans have brought up a lot, is that the announcing was bad. Well, they signed JR, what do you expect?
JR was bad.
The masked guy was the best, and he was terrible, and he kept calling it the Battle Royal, and then correcting himself to say Battle Royale. Like,
his name is Excalibur.
Okay. It's not a good lucha name. He should learn from Sakara how to do good lucha things.
And if you've ever watched Seven Deadly Sins, you know that European culture...
I want to see Seven Dudley Sins. It's Spike across the board, right?
Oh, of course.
All 7.
I like Spike Dudley.
Well, then Reverend Devon is the last one. 6 are Spike and Reverend Devon.
No, she'd do great there. Yeah, I'm excited for her.
I'm really good at sidetracking shit, and it's only...
You are. So let's move on.
At least you don't gotta edit.
What do we got now? I know, but I gotta work tomorrow. At least you ain't gotta work tomorrow.
You got that right.
What do you got next, Paystee buddy?
After the weekend's festivities, AEW announced All Out for August 31st, which is coming right up, folks. That's SummerSlam time. That's going to be contending with SummerSlam. That's good. And it's going to be at the Sears Center in Chicago, Illinois. And they've done promoting in a way so that they orient 2 red stars on either side of the AEW logo. 4 red stars in total. Prompting less knowledgeable fans to speculate that CM Punk will debut at All Out. Well, anything can happen in the wrestling world, folks. Take note that the 4 red stars are the basis for the Chicago flag, and most definitely not a guarantee of Punk's involvement. In fact, I think it genuinely means otherwise. It's to get the casual fan to be like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's where he got it from.
Honestly, he says chick magnet, but we all know CM stands for Chicago made.
Chicago made, of course. I don't think... I think CM Punk's done with
I still think we're going to get him, but not till TV.
Okay. Next
Could
up,
you imagine
we got a news...
Punk Janela, Punk Moxley, Punk, what's the other guy that I like? With the mask and the cigarette stapling. No, him too. But the cigarettes, the guy who wanted Moxley right when he left WWE. Fucking Christ. I always forget his name. I'm going to get it. I'm still learning these guys, folks. They're pretty new to me. Hardcore guy with the mask. Yeah. Havoc.
Oh, okay.
Punk Havoc would be a great match.
Jimmy Havoc.
Yes. Jimmy Snuka.
But speaking of Jimmy Snuka, Sadie Gibbs is signed to AEW.
What is she? Let's tie that one together for the folks.
Yeah, Gibbs earned a WWE tryout in 2017 and most recently has wrestled for Stardom over in Japan. She has a background in CrossFit, gymnastics, and MMA, and she looks to be a solid AEW women's division.
She doesn't have a strong background in wrestling, but...
No, but she's definitely...
Honestly, AEW needs one of those in the women's division, because everybody else is pretty solidly planted like this is what they've wanted to do. You know what I mean? It's good to have that diversity, truly, and if it wasn't for that diversity, we would not have had the card we had at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, not everybody can fucking come up like Medusa from a fucking reptile tribe.
I can.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I did 3 times last week.
Who else can?
Luchasaurus. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Really? Actually, he is the newest signing for AEW, as of this moment anyway. And they just seem to keep pouring in. And I mean, this one, after the Battle Royale, was a complete given. He was the last guy in the ring with Hangman Page. Oh, I guess MJF ducked out to do the heel thing, but it was Luchasaurus and Hangman Page at the end. And I could see the AEW strap on Luchasaurus. I thought that for a fact during the Battle Royale. Granted, like I said, I think Hangman Page is there first. I really do, and people say it's too soon, and that's why they're going to do it. They're going to blow your mind with it, and I think he is ready, more ready than people give him credit for.
Could be. I honestly don't think so.
So you think they're going to put it on Jericho?
Paystee,
I mean, if you boil it down to the two, I think you have to say it's going to go to Page. Because why would you put it on, like you said last week, why would you put it on a WWE guy?
I think last week that we mentioned that Luchasaurus is actually Dustin Draven, who was actually in Lucha Underground's reptile tribe under the name of Vibora. So if
did he have the same mask?
You will know it. Yeah.
That mask kills the gimmick for me. I love it. Like, not in a bad way. It kills it like...
I was going to say...
It slays it. Yes,
like,
queen. That kind of thing.
Okay. So, Paystee, we have something that is definitely a work shoot, to where we don't know what's right or wrong. But we're going to tell it here as...
Oh, wait, folks. I'm getting something from our producers. It's telling me we have one more sponsor I have to get across the board. Hold on, folks. Okay. Fat Mac.
Blue Chew, motherfuckers. We're part of the Chew World Order. Get some Blue Chew. Get a hard
Not even
dick.
close.
Motherfuckers.
Fat Mac.
No.
You own 3 dogs, yes?
No, I don't have a single dog. I have 2 ferrets and a gerbil.
Well, they're basically dogs. But what you really need is a cat. And folks, let me tell you right here, right now,
I'm the coolest cat in the land.
we are B6 Podcast is proudly sponsored by Paystee White's Kitten Company, because Paystee White's cat snuck out of the house last week and was out for 6 hours and got herself knocked up. And so, Fat Mac, what I think you really need in your life is a beautiful, cuddly kitten who will only love you once every 3 or 4 weeks and whenever he or she is hungry.
I also love the fact that the only time we said that we don't fucking promote other shit throughout the show other than the top of the fucking show, you promote.
That's exactly why I did it.
The show. You're such a cocksucker.
So yes, Paystee White's Cats. Get at me at paysteewhitescats@gmail.com. Yes, that's a real email, folks. No, it's fucking not. Don't do it, because it's not real. cloudstylebroadcasting@gmail.com. Hit me up for Paystee's Cats, and I will gladly FedEx them to you in a box with no holes.
So, Paystee, when everybody gets these cats and they throw them down their garbage...
I would beg you to do that, yes.
Would that be similar to what AEW has done on their current promotional material for Fighter Fest?
Yeah, I think that might tie in a little bit. Why don't you let me know a little bit more of the deets?
Well, AEW, it seems, has removed Pac from the promotional material for Fighter Fest. We've talked about Fighter Fest here on the show, and Pac had been advertised to team with the Lucha Brothers to face Kenny Omega and the Bucks as the Elite. Instead, now all of the promotional material has a mystery partner being advertised to team with
John Moxley.
Now, if you remember from last week, we talked about how Pac's AEW future has been kind of up in the air following creative differences that led to his match with Hangman Page at
They
Double or
seem to be
Nothing.
not too mad at him, or Cody would have destroyed his throne on the show.
Well, let's say the destroying of the throne proves that Cody carries grudges.
Yeah, well, that's a given. And he said it straight out. Like, he knew it was petty right off the bat. But he wanted to do it.
But with Pac. I mean, Pac's an independent wrestler. He's not Triple H. So
no, but he's got Triple H's ego, and we've known that since 205 Live.
No, he doesn't.
He's Austin Aries, but British.
Okay, but listen to this. Pac can back it up, though.
So can Austin Aries.
Austin Aries can back it up. Yes, but Triple H can't. When you can back it up, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Well, you know what I can back up? I guarantee you will have Pac versus Austin Aries and AEW within the next 2 years. I can back it up with this ass.
I can only fucking hope.
I think so. But he's going to... If Austin Aries is going to MLW, he's heading to AEW. Guaranteed.
Paystee.
This is a Paystee promise.
The Paystee promise with a pumice of Prometheus. Some other shit.
Paystee promises Prometheus's pussy to Pompous. Pompous Pete.
Yeah.
Pompous
there you
Pete.
go. It wasn't that great. I should have killed it.
You should have.
Anyways, there we go. I mean, we got a lot of shows for you. We got a lot of results for you. A little bit of news. Paystee, you got anything else to say before we sign off?
I mean, seriously, if you haven't watched Double or Nothing, what the fuck is wrong with you? You must be a WWE mark and stop watching wrestling. No, go watch Double or Nothing because it is worth your time. And if you don't pay for it, don't pay for it. I'm not going to judge you. Just watch it. Seriously, I watched it 1.5 times in 2 days. I think you can watch it once.
It's a super easy watch. Like, I watched the whole thing.
I still plan on watching it at least a couple of more times in the next couple of weeks because I enjoyed it that much. And I don't rewatch pay-per-views ever. I'm a guy who stays current with wrestling and I never look back.
Right. And my son and a few of his friends actually watched the show with me multiple times. So it was, it not only attracted me as a 25-year-old man, but also young 13, 12, 15.
And motherfucking Cody and Dustin stood out as the best match on the card. If that doesn't amaze you, nothing will. And just get out of this and stop watching wrestling because, wow, even I, who have had hope for Cody, and I trust in his business mind more than his wrestling mind, have never expected to be as blown away as I was by that match.
Well, and if you're a pro wrestling fan, even if you're just a WWE fan, if you're a WWE fan and you don't want to watch Cody versus Goldust and Chris Jericho versus one of the greatest wrestlers who aren't in WWE, you probably have a problem. Like, that's what you want to see, you would think. I would think. There you are. That's all I gotta say, Paystee. I have nothing more to talk about.
I could go on for another 4 hours about Double or Nothing and just the shit that came out during the StarCast stuff and just what I'm seeing on YouTube because I haven't seen anything beyond that. But folks, we're inundated and intoxicated. And hey, I finally found the episode title. That's a good thing to do right in the last minute of the show.
Inundated and intoxicated.
That's good. And I guess part 2 will be next week, suppose, huh? All right. So. Well, for that and B-Sticks Podcasting, Cloud Style Broadcasting, I've been Paystee White.
I am the Faticus Man.
And hey, just a friendly shout out and a reminder, check out Hotbox Talks with Petra Fucka. Because that shit's kicking off. He just started a 7-part Stoner Stories series on top of his regular broadcasted schedule. This guy has hit the books hard since he started his show. And it's good. Check it out. Support the fam. And we'll see you all next week. And again at the Galactic Get Down. Awkward phrase number 4.
17.
Snoogans. I gotta pee real bad. I'm still recording because awkward endings have to be awkward endings. They do. I just pissed my pants. I'll have clean pants next week, folks. Bye.